He's asking me to find the center and the radius. We know this from working back in, I guess it was chapter 2. Standard form of a circle. All right, is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equal to the radius squared, where h comma k is the center of your circle and r is the radius. All right, so what do we got here? This is fairly straightforward, but if I look at this very carefully, I got a perfect square trinomial there. Let me just see this. Let me just write this down. Minus 16x plus 64 plus, now what I'm going to do with this guy here, I'm going to write this as y minus a minus. And the reason I'm doing that is that the k value, the y value of your center, your k value comes after a minus sign. So if I saw a plus here, I don't want a plus, I want a minus. So I'm going to express positive 9 as minus a minus. So what I know is that that is my k value. So my center of my circle, I don't know what the h value is, but I know the k value is minus 9. Alright, so center of my circle here, if I look at this closely, I see that letter C is the only one that has a k value of negative 9. K, that's k is like a y values. Alright, so basically already I'm done. I know it's letter C. Now what about this? Let's say I didn't know that. I take this, I would write this as, it's a perfect square trinomial. I'm going to write this as x minus 8 quantity squared plus y minus a minus 9 quantity squared. Now after the minus sign, see, after the minus sign comes your h. After the minus sign, when I factor this, comes an 8. So I know that my h value is 8, and you see it right there. But I knew that already because this is the only one that had the correct k value. So you gotta be looking out for that. All right, sometimes he makes life a little bit easier for us if you're sort of paying attention. It's the old adage, the more you know, the more you know. Number 2, not quite as straightforward. I've got to do everything here. So we've got x squared plus 8x plus 16 plus y squared minus 2y plus 1 equals 36. Alright, what I need to do is express both of these as squares. Fortunate for me, I know that this is x plus 4 quantity squared plus, let's see, this is going to be, in order to get a minus 2, I got to make this y minus 1 quantity squared equal to 36. Alright, x plus 4 times x plus 4 times itself will give me that perfect square trinomial. Y minus 1 times itself, foiled out, would give me that. So I want to express this as x minus a minus 4 quantity squared plus, this is already in the format of y minus, and I'm going to call this 36. Now, here's the general format of a circle. X minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equal to r squared, the radius squared. So after the minus sign comes an h. After the minus sign comes a minus 4. Here's my h value. After the minus sign comes your k. After the minus sign is a 1. And if r squared is 36, then r is equal to 6. Notice I'm not taking the negative square root. You can't have a circle whose radius is negative. So my radius is, my radius is 36. No, I take that back. My radius is 6. I write the first time. R squared is 36. R is 6. Alright, so negative 4, 1. Negative 4, 1, and radius of 6. Alright, negative 4, 1, radius of 6, letter D. So I still haven't completed the square yet. These first two were nicely set up for me. Alright, they were actually expressed as, I could express this as a perfect square trinomial. I could express that. This one, I just wrote this as y minus a minus 9. I know my k value was minus 9. This was a perfect square trinomial. So I didn't really have to do anything much with completing the square. However, number 3 may not be quite as straightforward. Let's see. X squared plus y squared plus 18x plus 6y plus 90 equal to 25. Alright, so I don't see, let me just do this. Let me put my x terms side by side. I'm going to leave a space. And y squared plus 6y, leave a space. And I'm going to take this positive 90 and subtract it on both sides, minus 90. And what's that going to be? I guess a negative 65. Alright, so what he tells me here to do is to take half of this middle term. Half of 18 is 9. I want to put a kind of a star around 9. Alright, he says take half of that and then square it. Well, 9 squared is 81. So he wants me now to add that 81. The square of half the middle term. Half of 18 is 9. 9 squared is 81. See, what ends up happening here is now I got a perfect square trinomial. This is x plus, there's that 9. X plus 9 quantity squared. If I FOIL this out, I get exactly that. Alright, so I'm adding 81. But if I add 81 on the left side, I better make sure I add 81 on the right side. Now, take half of 6. Half of 6 is 3. Put a star around that. Take that 3 and square it. 3 squared is 9. So here I want to add 9. Now what I have here is a perfect square trinomial. This is going to be y, let's see, plus half of 6 was, half of the middle term was 3. Alright, I'm going to use that right there. Now notice, well, if I write it the same way I had the other one, alright, so just rewrite this as y squared plus 6y plus 9. This becomes y plus 3 quantity squared. Now I added 9 on the left side. I better make sure I add 9 on the right side. So what have I got here? 81 and 9 is 81 and 9 is 90, and 90 subtract 65 is 25. Alright, 25. So notice these both have pluses. The standard form of a circle is x minus h quantity squared and y minus k quantity squared equal to r squared. So I need to express this as x, this positive 9 is x minus a minus 9 quantity squared plus y minus a minus 3 quantity squared equal to 25. So after the minus sign comes my h. It's a minus 9. After the minus sign comes my k. It's a minus 3. Now if the radius squared is 25, the square root of 25 is 5. Number 3, I'm looking for letter C. There it is. There's my center, minus 9 and minus 3, and my radius is 5. If radius squared is 25, my radius is the square root of that. So we see it's letter C. Alright, so that's the first one we actually had to complete the square, and I'm pretty sure the last one is the same thing here, where we have to complete the square. Alright, number 4. I'm going to write this with my x values side by side. Leave a space. Y squared, let's see, minus 14y, leave a space, equal to minus 25. There's my middle term. I'm going to take half of that. Half of 10 is 5. Put a star around it. That's going to pop up in a minute. Half of that is 5. Take the 5 and square it. It's 25. So I'm going to add 25. But now, I got equal over here. if I added 25 to the left side of the equation, I better add 25 to balance things out. Plus, let's see, half of minus 14. Half of, well, I don't even know, I don't care about the sign. All I want is the middle term here. Half of 14 is 7. All right, put a star around that. You know, just the way the, well, I'll show you why putting a star means is important. Half of 7 is, 14 is 7. Take the 7 now and square it. Squaring that is 49. So what I want to do is add 49 to the left side and make sure I balance it out by adding 49 to the right side. Now, what I've got here is a perfect square trinomial. I put a star around that 5 because it shows right up. X plus 5 quantity squared. Alright, plus, now I put a star around the 7 because it shows up y plus 7 quantity squared. If you FOIL this out, you'll get back this trinomial. By adding 25, you've completed the square. Gave you this. By taking half of that and squaring it, you completed the square. Y plus 7. In fact, I take that back here because the middle term here was negative 14. Alright, so half of that was a negative 7. I caught myself. The middle term here was negative 14. Half of a negative 14 is a negative 7. Put the star around that because the minus 7 shows up. Equal to, what do we got? These guys cancel out. That's 49. So I need to write this as x minus a minus. Alright, the h value comes after a minus sign, so plus 5. Or simply said, if you see a plus, change it to a minus. All right, but I'm just going to write it all out. 49 is what, 7 squared. So after the minus sign is my h value, minus 5. After the minus sign is my k value, it's a 7. And my radius would be equal to 7. Number 4. And that looks like it right here. Minus 5, 7, and a radius of 7. Completing the square. Yeah, alright, take some practice. I just caught myself here. Half of my middle term, half of a minus 14 is a minus 7. Alright, that's why it showed up right there. Minus 7 squared is 49. Alright, that should do it.